Mark Langfan. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Judge. God bless you. You are a shining star and a northern star for really almost everyone here. God bless you. First of all, I want to make sure everyone's got my little one-page or two-page handout. Thank you. Today's sort of a stormy day, so I'll start with a stormy metaphor. You know, in every terrible cloud, there is a silver lining. And in the catastrophic, horrific storm we're in, if you can say there's one silver lining, it's that Hamas has stripped away any notion that they believe in anything other than the zero-state solution. And you can see the river to the sea is really no Israel at all. And in fact, Khalid Mashal, a couple of weeks ago, said the world should start looking at a post-Israel world. And quite frankly, you look at the college campuses, and that is the debate. And so, unfortunately, in my going around showing my three-dimensional map many, many years ago, I realized that, in fact, the debate, and the only real debate, was between an Israel and no Israel at all. When I went on Capitol Hill, that's exactly what they said to me. And so many years ago, I started making maps and graphics to explain to people how no Israel at all is actually the end of Western civilization and life as we know it. So I have this little pamphlet here, it's 2-page, and then I have a longer, if anybody is interested, they can ask me afterwards. But it basically is 3 graphics that I think show exactly what I just said, which is without Israel, the Western world is finished. And I want you first to look at the graphic in the upper right, which is sort of a cartoon. And it's got radical Islam and the Dam of Israel and Europe and NATO right at its foot. And the question is this graphic true or just a cartoon? That's the question. And I'm going to show you 2 maps that after you see these 2 maps, you're going to be able to show this to your next door neighbor, to your friend who's Greek or your friend who's Italian, or really anybody, including Arabs and Muslims, how Israel is in fact protecting not only Western civilization, but in fact it's protecting the Muslim world itself. And I want to first direct you to the first graphic under the bottom. And it's really a very simple map. It shows that in the bottom right, there's 487 million Muslims in various states of being failed states, terror states, bubble states, or whatever. And in the upper left, you've got one country called Greece that has only 11 million Christians that this country is sworn to defend under NATO. And the simple question I ask is, what's the only non-Muslim country between 487 million Muslims and the 11 million Christians in Greece that this country is sworn to protect? And in fact, I was in a congressional office and the person wanted to understand why we're spending $3 billion on Israel. And I said, you want to understand why Israel's worth more alive than $3 billion? And the person nodded. I said, okay, how much are you going to have to put in the defense budget in years 2, 3, and 4, and 5 when you look at this map and you ask yourself, what's going to happen to Greece? So now let's go to the last page, the back page. Okay. Let's go to exactly what Hamas is positing. And the map I'm about to show you, after you see this map, you're going to say, wait a second, the Abraham Accords are actually a lot more important than you ever realized, okay? And the simple question is, okay, let's give Hamas its dream. Is Hamas's dream going to bring quote-unquote stability to the Middle East? Now, for your information, I've actually been in the Joint Chiefs of Staff office 30 years ago, and I deposited this with the Israel desk, okay? So they've known this for 30 years. And it's a simple map. It says, okay, what's going to happen if Israel's destroyed? Well, let's put aside the 6 million dead Jews and God only knows how many Israeli Arabs. There's never going to be a Palestinian state. There's just going to be a bigger Syria, Hezbollah, and a bigger Egypt, and they're both going to run for Jerusalem. That's it. There never was, there never will be a Palestinian state. But then the next question, that's the first domino. Second domino is Israel has in effect been protecting Jordan from Syria since 1970, when Syria lined up a bunch of tanks and Israel said, if you cross that river, you're going to be annihilated. Well, there won't be an Israel there anymore. So who's going to defend little old Jordan? The answer is nobody. I've been doing this for 30 years. 30 years. Every single person from general to whatever has said, of course that's what's going to happen. That's all I've needed. Why? Because remember what the big lie is, everybody. The big lie is Israel is the cause of instability in the Middle East. Okay? That's the big lie. Well, okay, Israel isn't there. What happens? All of a sudden, Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states have 3 new northern neighbors that are contiguous on their land border that are not there now. Egypt, with 100 million people and the strongest army in strongest Arab army in the Middle East and control of the Suez Canal, Hezbollah/Syria, and an enlarged Iran. Is anyone seeing stability here? The answer is no. So this simple map and Payne's have just shown the big lie. The big lie is Israel is actually the cause of stability in the Middle East, and in fact protecting the Middle East from becoming a maelstrom of a caliphate that God only knows what would happen to the world. Now, let's get back to that first page and look at that upper right-hand corner graphic. All of a sudden, that graphic becomes a lot more real when you look at these 2 maps, as well as the other maps in my longer 8-page thing, which I hope to everybody to hand out. I'll have plenty for everybody. So thank you, Mr. Heller. Your art is fantastic and beautiful, and we thank you. And thank you, Judge. And I hope everybody, and by the way, if anybody has any questions, just call me. My number's on here, or talk to me after. I'm here for everybody.